Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back for the Monday night show. It's good to see you all. What did I tell you? Mondays are always full of updates, and that's what we have today. I also let you know yesterday that within the next 12 hours or so, or probably before I saw you next, which is now, that the Brenna Swindell would become more public and news stations would be covering it. And that is exactly what happened. Everywhere has picked it up now. It's all over mainstream media, which means her parents finally got everything sorted with the police, and yeah, it's out there. We'll talk about it and we'll get into it in a minute. Plus, what is going on at Rice University today? They have a investigation going on there. I'll bring you more details of that in a minute. But let me say hello to everyone. DJ, how are you? Robbie, hey, my friend Laurie, good to see you. Sean, Shasta, Diane, Angela, Andrew, hey, buddy. Laura's here too. Rachel, Mr. Dan Yee, Sienna, my sweet friend Sienna, it's good to see you. I hate mornings. That's okay. It's nighttime. Robbie's here. Kiki's here. Who else? Who else? Who else? Carnes is here. Hey, good to see you. Lynn D, Nana Lana, Sean's here. Emily made it. Marilyn Landis, Mamma Mia. Tia's here. Diane made it. Marjorie's here. It's a full house tonight. A full house. All right, let's get set up. By the way, let me talk about this before we get into and I turn the camera on and all that. Uh, I did hear, yes, I heard about it that Jimmy Williams, aka Dolly Vision, had a heart attack last night. Apparently, they had to bring him back via, the paddles on the table. I mean, I don't care what you think of anyone, like, if you think they're a bad person or a bad YouTuber or you don't like their channel or whatever, you don't want people to go through that. I mean, that's awful. I mean, I can't imagine what his family is going through. That's frightening, frightening. He's not even that old. Really, really scary. I hope he's gonna recover. I don't have any update. The last thing I heard that he was in hospital. I don't know anything else. Okay, the post I have here was like 9 hours ago that he had a heart attack last night. They had to put a splint in his heart. He's still in ICU. They're saying, "I'm gonna be here for a bit." They had to shock him on the table. He's lucky to be alive. Far out. He's got a long recovery ahead of him, to get back to good health. So, his name's Dolly Vision, and, I don't know, his real name's Jimmy, right? I don't know him very well. I don't think we even know each other, but I know of him. But yeah, he has a channel, on here. A lot of people know him. Yeah, I know. Some of my people, I think AZ knows him and stuff like that. I'm friends with AZ. But yeah, not. It's really, really shocking. That's really horrible. I hope he's going to be okay. I hope they can figure it out. He's still with us right now. That's a good thing. Yeah, Jimmy Williams. Yeah, I can show you the post here. I mean, I don't go to his channel. I don't watch his stuff, but I know who he is. I mean, I don't watch a lot of channels because I don't have time. But here I can show you the Facebook post. All right, StreamYard, telling me I have too many photos. All right, here, let me upload it. That's the Facebook post I have. It says he had a heart attack. They put a splint into his heart. He's in ICU. You can see he's in a hospital bed right now. All I can say is I hope he recovers. Hope he's all right. And yeah, he's got. Danny could probably tell you more than me. His channel's Dolly Vision, right? Yeah, like that's all I know. Like I just know of him. But anytime a YouTuber, suffers something like this, you want to be, send your condolences and hope he's going to be okay. It's scary, man. I turned 40 a couple of weeks ago. I don't want to do that. They fixed the blockage, so that's good news. Okay, good. Good. All right. Hopefully he's on the mend. He can get his strength back and get back to, I don't know what he does, making fun of people. Isn't that what he does? Isn't he one of those channels that makes fun of people? Sort of like Heels in the Air? Doesn't he sort of make fun of other creators and stuff? Bad people on YouTube or something? Sorry, I don't watch a lot of other creators. I just don't have time. But I know of him. All right. Thanks for bringing me that, Danny. I'd actually heard about it earlier. Someone else actually brought it to me. But could have easily gone the other way. He could have easily gone the other way, and we'd all be talking about losing someone from the YouTube community right now. So it's so lucky that they're good doctors and they helped him, and he does cry mostly. Okay. Yeah, I don't know his real channel either. Okay, it's called The Real Dolly Vision. I only ever known it as Dolly Vision, but yeah. Hey, let's hope he's going to be okay. Let's get to the true crime then. Let me take you out to Texas. Let's go to Texas. I like Texas. Actually, both our stories are out of Texas today. How odd. How odd. Texas having a busy day, apparently.
Tonight, police are looking for the daughter of a former Major League pitcher who disappeared last week in Austin.
Greg Swindell played 17 years in the majors, including several seasons with the Astros. Now he's begging for help to find his daughter, Brenna. Victor Jacobo is in the newsroom now with more. Victor.
Yeah, Len and Mia, Brenna Swindell has been missing for several days now, according to Austin police. She was last seen with her ex-boyfriend, Morgan Guidry, and now newly obtained documents show that she accused that ex of strangling her during a domestic violence incident just last month, and later told police she feared he would kill her. In fact, earlier today, authorities filed an arrest warrant for Guidry stemming from that July incident. According to police, the 29-year-old mother of three was last seen with Guidry at a bar just outside Austin on Thursday night. Police say neither of them have been seen since. And according to law enforcement, both of their cell phones have been turned off since Friday. Families say that Brenna is always in close contact with her parents, her mother in particular, but they've been unable to reach her. Brenna is roughly 5'4", 120 to 140 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. She has tattoos on both of her arms. According to police, she may be traveling in a white 2022 Kia Carnival with a Texas license plate VFS7528. The vehicle may have been spotted.
Is that them? Is that noise coming from that particular video? It's not. I think it's their source. I don't think it's because there's nothing like I paused it now. There's nothing else playing at all. Like, there's no other music, or I don't think so. Anyway, I turned everything off. Yeah, there's nothing here. Let me check a couple of other things. Yeah, that's okay. That's running. Yeah, there's nothing else playing. It must be just a messed up video. They must have a screwed up video. Because yeah, there's no other music. Like sometimes when we play other things, things in the background in another panel or whatever, sometimes you get like an echoey effect, but no, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it must be just a messed up YouTube video. They must have screwed it up somehow. That's right. I'll bring you the details. I'll tell you about it. I will tell you about it. Let's I picked up the earphones and it went good. Huh? Oh, was it reverbing through the microphone?
Austin.
Greg Swindell played 17 years in the majors, including several seasons with the Astros. Now he's begging for help to find his daughter, Brenna. Victor Jacobo is in the newsroom now with more. Victor.
Yeah, Len and Mia, Brenna Swindell has been missing for several days now, according to Austin police. She was last seen with her ex-boyfriend, Morgan Guidry, and now Newly obtained documents show that she accused that ex of strangling her during a domestic violence incident just last month and later told police she feared he would kill her. In fact, earlier today,
No, it's their video. I thought it was the microphone picking up the headphones, but it's not. Can you hear it again? It's in their video. It's actually on their video. See?
authorities filed an arrest warrant for Guidry stemming from that.
I don't know. I think they've screwed up their video. I think someone has done a bad job at KHOU. That's okay. I'll bring it to you. I'll tell you what's going on. Utah says no. There is DJ. There is. I played it on my headphones. I can hear it. I can hear it still. Really? I can. What the hell is going on? Hold on.
July incident. According to police, the 29-year-old mother of three was last seen with Guidry at a bar just outside Austin on Thursday night. Police say neither of them have been seen since, and according to law enforcement, both of their cell phones have been turned off since Friday. Families say that Brenna is always in close contact with her parents, her mother in particular, but they've been unable to reach her. Brenna is roughly 5'4", 120 to 140 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. She has tattoos on both of her arms. According to police, she may be traveling in a white 2022 Kia Carnival with the Texas license plate VFS7528. The vehicle may have been spotted in Colorado, according to police, and tonight a family are asking anyone in that state and the wider region to keep their eyes peeled. In the meantime, if you know anything about Brenna Swindell's disappearance or where she and her ex-boyfriend Morgan Guidry may be, you're asked to call Austin Police at the number on the bottom of your screen, 512-974-5250.
I don't know what is going on, but I can still hear it. I think they got something going on in the background in the video. Like, is it like a fire alarm or an emergency speaker or something? Something going on. Anyway, there you go. We watched it finally. Yes, there's some pretty bad crap going on with this, and her ex-boyfriend or partner or whatever you want to call him, he seems like I've seen some weird stuff, including that they were going to spend one last night together or something like that. Here, here's a bit of a snippet I have here. They're saying, yeah, so an arrest affidavit filed on Friday, a day after her disappearance, states Morgan strangled his girlfriend multiple times and slammed her head onto the floor at an apartment complex early in July. They said the affidavit was filed more than a month after the incident because Brenna had decided on August 20 to press charges against Morgan. The woman suffered numerous injuries, including to her clavicle, her head, her neck, and to her hands. She told deputies that she threw a box of ammunition on the ground and ran to an exit while Morgan grabbed a rifle. The affidavit said she told deputies she believed she would be killed. I mean, and now she's missing with him for almost a week. I hope they can find her. Now, I heard something about the car being found in Colorado or hitting on a license plate recognition thing. Then it was hit in another area earlier today. I'm just trying to find Greg's post. He was talking about it earlier today. Hold on. He was saying that, we all know about the car and it hit on a different license plate reader. I'm just trying to find the post from him. I think it was today. Where is it? I might have to just search her dad's name. All right. I don't know if he's removed it, but he put up earlier today, he put up the city of Austin's press release for it. And I'll tell you that I did read the post from him saying that the car has now been hit twice on a license plate recognition or some way. So it's still traveling and he thinks it's long gone. A couple people cited it or were nearby where the reading was, but he's like, they could be 100 miles away by now. So they reckon they're on the run somewhere. This is the police report that he put up earlier today. Marlene says, why do these women keep thinking these men will change? They will not. I don't know. I don't know the psychology behind women and feeling like men are like a project that they can somehow complete and fix. I'm of the opinion that while people might be able to improve their behavior, their true who they are never changes. They might be able to change different things that they can do. They might be able to be, modify some behavior, but their actual personality and how they treat people, that never changes. I don't think that ever fully changes for people. I think while people can learn to be nicer or learn to be different or whatever, I think and going into a relationship with the idea of fixing someone is not a good idea, because you'll always be chasing perfection when it's probably not obtainable, and you should probably meet someone who you're happy with from the start, someone who you don't feel like you have to fix or modify, to fit a specific image. Let's see. See if I can find this thing about the car. I know her dad posted it, but everyone's swamping the timeline now. I should have saved it. Silly ping. So the sighting before, I think the one today or wherever they saw it's a Kia Carnival. It was seen before on I-25 in Colorado on Friday evening, but I heard they saw it at a different location over the weekend or today. I'm being a great YouTuber right now, the best. I have all the information. Oh, here. I found it. So they're saying her phone is off. She has not been in contact with family, friends, and most importantly, her children. Her ex-boyfriend in the photo has a warrant and is violent. She drives a white Kia Carnival, which has not been located yet. We're in the process. Oh, that's from yesterday. Update. We know about the car. It went through a reader in Colorado on I-25 on Friday evening. That's the first bit. DPS has been working the best they can because the GPS isn't on. No cell phones are on either. There is no science exactly where the car is. We haven't heard anything back from DPS, but they are on it. The missing persons have been filed. Yep, that came through today. We have lots of leads and trying to sift through them. Until we can get the Kia to activate the GPS tomorrow morning, they're going to try force it through like One Star or maybe even Kia head office. They're going to try what they can do. They can actually send what they call like a pulse or a ping or a packet, and they can try and get it to turn back on. There are ways you can force it to come back on remotely. So that maybe is what they're going to try and do. They're saying here, we have no idea where they are in Colorado or even if they're still there. Please keep tips and sightings coming through. They feel like that, she would never abandon 3 children and just take off without explanation. Yeah, that must be the update. I thought they said they saw it again. And then he replied to someone saying they didn't think that it was worth looking in that particular area because they reckon they're not there anymore. If I can find that, I'll bring it to you. But yeah, someone replied to Greg saying, "I'll go check right now," but he was like, "It's 12 hours ago. We just don't believe that they're even in that area anymore." They have a feeling that they're constantly moving. Why they have that feeling, I don't know, but they have a feeling that they're constantly on the move, probably trying to stay ahead of everything. Hey Nancy, how are you? Nancy says trauma bonding is the reason they go back after abuse. Jeez. Tia says, I think naked divers searched a body of water today, found a Nissan, but not a Kia. DJ says, NBC Dallas Fort Worth. Okay, hold on, let me have a look. Idaho, that's it. Thanks, Danny. The other place was Idaho, but I think, yeah, Greg said he didn't even want anyone to go to the specific area because they didn't think that they would still be there. All right, let me check NBC. I was trying to find his post because it's coming from the father, not a mainstream news company. It's more like legitimate, but he's probably giving them the same information. Come on, Dallas Fort Worth News, why won't you load? I don't know, maybe we're having net issues tonight. Oh no, it's just slow. Okay, let's see. 7 hours ago. Updated 4 hours ago. Okay. They're saying here, Brenna was at the Pooties Hilltop Bar in Spicewood about 10:20 p.m. on Thursday with her ex-boyfriend Morgan. Since then, no one has been able to reach either of them, and their phones have been off since Friday. Austin police said Swindell has not been in the usual contact with her family, and the department is concerned about her safety. Police say she may have been seen in Denver, Colorado, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Messages shared online, that's what I saw, indicate she may have recently been spotted in Idaho. Idaho. That's interesting. They're saying here, according to the Texas DPS active alerts page, a clear alert has not been activated on her behalf. Has not? Okay. Apparently not been activated. Yeah, here's Greg's post. He says our daughter Brenna has not been seen or heard from in the Austin area since late Thursday. Her ex-boyfriend has a warrant. He is violent. So please, if you've seen or heard from any of them, let them know. Yeah, that warrant really demonstrates what kind of situation that she has been in. The fact that he damaged her like clavicle, her neck, her head, her hand, and then tried to deprive her of oxygen, or AKA strangulation, it's just abuse at the end of the day, isn't it? Heading towards Canada. If the car is going towards Canada, is it 2 people in the car or 1 person in the car? Because if you're running towards the border, I don't think it's 2 people. And I hate to say that, but I wouldn't think it would be 2 people if you're heading towards the border. Tia says there's no way if they have driven so much that they have been spotted somewhere on CC. You would think that crossing even into like a different state, a lot of those state lines have cameras like license plate recognition, you know, for warrants and things like that. Maybe they got caught on that. It might take a little while. Are you covering this because her dad is a former ball player? I don't even know who Greg Swindell is. I don't even know. I don't watch baseball or whatever. Never even heard of him before yesterday. Yeah, I covered it yesterday before the police report was even out. Kiki says I don't think she's alive either. I keep hope up until the last possible moment. So I know people are saying they don't believe she's still alive. Until we know otherwise, I'm going to believe that she is. But I hope they're not running towards the border. Hey, Sleuth Mom, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been doing well. Yeah. No, I'm not covering it because he is a who is he? He played baseball for someone, right? But I couldn't even tell you who or where or at what level. If it was college or the pros, I have no idea. I've never watched a game of baseball in my life. And no, we cover any story, including the one I'm about to bring to you after this, which no one's covering. And I'm going to give it some media attention because no one's covering it. Danny says the Astros. Oh, okay. Is that a Texas team? It is, right? Busy summer getting back into everything again. The kiddos are back to school. Yeah, that must be a relief, right? Heading back to school. Hey, Juicy Jules. Okay, let me bring you some more. Give me a second. ABC Houston also put out an alert today. I'll bring it to you.
Right now, Brenna Swindell, the daughter of former Texas Longhorn and Houston Astros pitcher Greg Swindell, is missing.
Austin police say the 29-year-old was last seen Thursday, August 22nd, at Pootie's Hilltop Bar in Spicewood, Texas. That's just west of Austin. Police tell us she was with her ex-boyfriend, but they have not been seen since then, and their phones are off. Brenna is 5'4" and has tattoos on both of her arms. She drives a 2022 Kia Carnival. Please contact Austin Police if you have any information.
Her father, Greg Swindell, pitched for the Astros from 1993 to 96 and was also a part of HISD's Athletic Hall of Honors.
There you go. He was part of a Hall of Honor, whatever that is. Marlene says, do you like cricket? No, I don't watch any sport. The only sport I watch is NFL. That's it. I don't watch cricket. I don't watch soccer or football or whatever. No, nothing. Tia says, you remember the firefighter couple? Right. Yes. From a couple of months ago, the female in the relationship abducted the male. They were both found deceased a little while after, and they found a note that she had written basically apologizing for whoever had to find them, which is, it's a very main player character, isn't it? The fact that she apologized for who had to find them. Well, why did you have to do anything? Why not just let him go? Why not just drive back to where you came from? Don't have to apologize then. You can just let him go. But unfortunately, that is not what happened, and they are both now gone. All right. Now, the Statesman has been covering this as well. The Austin American Statesman. I'm just trying to find if they got an updated article. They seem to be talking about the other story that we're going to do. But here, I'll show you. They're saying that Brenna told Travis County Sheriff deputies last month that she thought her then boyfriend was going to kill her. Now the Austin Police Department is investigating her disappearance after she was last seen with the man. They're saying the disappearance is uncharacteristic of her. She would never abandon her 3 children or take off without an explanation. Law enforcement tracked her white 2022. It's a 2022 model. Now we know. Yesterday we didn't have a model number. Kia Carnival's Colorado by Friday evening. Yes, we know that. And then what here? They said Morgan and her van might have been spotted in Colorado. Yes. Here's a bit about the affidavit. An affidavit for an arrest warrant was filed on Friday, a day after her disappearance, states that Morgan strangled his girlfriend multiple times and slammed her head onto a floor in an apartment complex on July 7. The victim was not named in the affidavit, but Travis County Sheriff spokesman Kristen Dark told the American that she was Brenna. They said the affidavit was filed more than a month after the incident because she had finally decided to press charges against him. I mean, that situation just sounds chaotic. She suffered numerous injuries, we read this out before, to her clavicle, head, neck, hand. She told deputies that she threw a box of ammunition on the ground and ran to an exit while Morgan grabbed a rifle. She told deputies she believed she was going to be killed. When authorities responded to the apartment, Morgan had left with his rifle, but they found the loose ammunition on the ground, which that partially corroborates her statement to police, and now she is missing. So if you're in Idaho or Colorado or even Austin, Texas, any connecting states that they might drive through, if you see either of these people, call it in. Call it in. It is a little worrying that they haven't been seen. Like, if they can confirm the Idaho sighting, that helps, but you need to confirm that it's both of them and not one of them. If they can confirm that, then that gives some hope that they're still driving around for some reason. What that reason is, don't know, but it gives hope that she's still there's still an opportunity to find her. If they can't verify that sighting, then we're drawn back to Friday. That's the last time that car was picked up. I don't even know if they have a confirmation that both of them were in the vehicle on Friday. If she's alive, it would be a miracle. Well, let's all believe in miracles because I'd like to see her go home to her children. I'd like to see her go home to her dad and her children. Rachel said that's strange because usually the state presses charges. I shared yesterday and it's posted on Idaho missing page too. Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get a better update about where that car might be in Idaho. Let me just check here. I don't know. Have you guys seen the note? Has anyone been able to confirm that? The only reason I saw a couple of people saying it was fake, but I don't know where it came from. But I think there's two parts of it, not one. People keep posting one side of it, but I saw two earlier. Hold on, let me grab it for you and we'll talk about what it says. Okay, here's the other side. That's that one. So the note that I can see here, it says, I went back to spend one last night with him. It's hard to read. Off to travel the world. Love, Morgan. Morgan plus Brenna. See you on the other side. That's ominous. Here, I'll show you that one. I saw a couple of people saying it was staged, but StreamYard, you got to be my wingman. You can't be doing stuff like this. That's the one that says off to travel the world. Let me remove this. It's hard to read, but yeah, you go off to travel the world. Love, Morgan and Brenna. See you on the other side. On the other side of what? On the other side of the world? Life? A rainbow? On the other side of what exactly? On the flip side? On the other side of the flip side, maybe? Here's the other side of it. Oh, wait. Oh, silly thing. Oh, Ping, what are you doing? We're having a great night tonight. Great night. Let me just double check which one's what. Okay. Apparently, yeah. I've got to re-download it for some reason. StreamYard's being a real pain in the bum tonight. Alright, there's the other side. I went back to spend one last night with her. Don't be ever going back for one last anything. Anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Off to travel the world, love Morgan and Brenna. See you on the other side. I don't like that. I know, I've not seen it confirmed either. And I saw a couple people say it was fake. So take that. We got a giant boulder of salt. It's like this big. That's how big a salt you need to have is to read that. Yeah, I know. The fact that he tried to strangle her multiple times is telling. Yeah, you unless they're using cash, unless they've got some sort of cash option, meaning they're not likely to be traced as easily. There have to be a sighting to be able to do that. All right, let's leave this for now. I'll bring it up a little bit later. Let's go to Mamta. I have some interesting information. And hold on. Let me get to you. Let's go to USA 9. USA 9? Come on, USA 9. Yeah.
WUSA 9 News at 5 begins right now with new reporting on the case of a missing Manassas Park mother. It is a story so many of you have been asking for updates about. And tonight, Mamta Kafle Bhatt's husband will remain in custody without bond. A Prince William County judge says Naresh Bhatt poses a threat to the community and that he may be a flight risk. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Leslie Foster.
And I'm Simone D'Alba. Rafael Sanchez Cruz was the first to report on Mamta's disappearance. He was inside the courtroom where new details were revealed about the couple's home life prior to the disappearance.
So let's talk to Rafa about this. What did we learn?
Yeah, Leslie, Simone, prosecutors say that back in February, Mamta called police and made allegations of domestic abuse against her husband. Prosecutors are also saying that Naresh Bhatt made some concerning Google searches on his work computer about life after his wife's death. Tonight, prosecutors revealing that the U.S. Secret Service has offered up evidence in the case against Naresh Bhatt. Back in April, prosecutors say that the 37-year-old used his work computer to Google how long does it take to get married after spouse die and what happened to debt died spouse.
Now I can talk about. Is it really? It's echoing again? We were paused, like completely paused. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard tonight. It must be a StreamYard issue because there's like I'm not doing anything. I'm doing what I always do with my shows. It must be a StreamYard issue. I'm sorry. There's not much I can do about it. I told you last week that I had heard from a source that he had been either arranging for another woman to come from Nepal to come to America, and he was looking at organizing a visa for her. And now you see it sort of confirmed here with this new information from the Secret Service saying he was looking up how long after a spouse dies can you get remarried. And that plays very much into the information that I told you guys last week, and that I had heard that he was already looking for another woman. This is way before that she went missing. He had been looking for months for another female. So I'm glad to see that now confirmed, and it's just so suspicious. I mean, he's charged now. I'm glad he didn't get bond. I didn't think he would. Too big of a risk, too big of a flight risk. They would have just showed the evidence from the home, the passports, the suitcases being pre-packed, that type of thing. Let me play the rest of it. Hopefully the echo doesn't come back.
Moment today, it's like, oh, they got him for murder one.
Naresh Bhatt has not been charged with the murder of his wife of more than 3 years, Mamta Kafle Bhatt. The public defender arguing today that without a body, Naresh Bhatt should not be in custody for concealing a dead body. The defense presented this video of Prince William County Commonwealth attorney as evidence.
Is she alive or dead? We don't know.
Today, prosecutors said Mamta had spoken to police in February, claiming her husband would not give her documents and that he had destroyed her phone. They also referenced these Facebook posts where an account under Mamta's name asked for help on a page for single mothers in the DMV. I work 2 days a week and my husband is not helping to take care of baby. He is saying that if I leave baby with him, he will send child to custody. Is it possible?
Mamta was being abused. Mamta cried for help. Mamta was harmed in a significant way by Naresh Bhatt, and we can say that very openly now.
Friends and colleagues say Naresh did not disclose to investigators why Mamta would not come home sometimes.
You said to me on the phone that she's left before.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. How many times? What were the circumstances? Did you call police?
No, at that time we never called police. Like at that time altogether 3 times.
She wasn't going happily on vacation. She was going because she was physically threatened and worried about the safety of her and her baby.
Prosecutors say that the last place that Mamta's phone pinged to a cell phone tower was near a body of water in Loudoun County. One of the groups that's been conducting searches says they're going to focus in Loudoun County to continue their efforts to find Mamta. As for Naresh Bhatt, he's due back here in court on October 24th, but the public defender who's representing him says he wants to move that date up because he feels that he should not remain in custody.
If I was Mr. Naresh, I wouldn't be very impressed with my lawyer. You can't bring into evidence a public press conference that the DA gave because the DA is under no obligation to tell the truth about anything to the public. They are under obligation to protect the integrity of their case, not to tell the news stations anything. So to bring into and try and argue on the point that during that brief press conference, it wasn't even a press conference, she just got asked for comment outside of the home after he was arrested. But you to bring that into a thing and say, oh, look, they told the public that they don't know if she's alive or dead. They might know more. Like you can't really bring that into and try and argue over that because police say all sorts of things at press conferences. They might say we don't have a person of interest, and they do. They might say we don't have any clue where they are, and they do. They do that all the time to protect their investigation. So I think his lawyer's not. I wouldn't be impressed if that was my lawyer. It's a pretty weak argument to try and get out of the ton of evidence that police put up. Like just in that brief thing when he was arrested and went to court last week, I would call their case of like hiding a body or concealing a body pretty strong. I mean, they showed you blood evidence, enough blood evidence where whoever bled that, that whoever's blood it was, and they can get lab testing for that. Whoever's blood that was bled enough for it to be a critical injury needing hospitalization or medical care. And if they can prove that, then he doesn't have a leg to stand on because who was in his home that recently that bled that much and who needed hospitalization or medical care. He would have to be able to prove that to be able to walk back that evidence. And so far, I haven't seen anything from him or his lawyer that's been able to explain away all the blood staining, the blood in the tub, the drag marks, why he has a suitcase and passports and X, Y, and Z. So his lawyer's got a lot of work to do if he wants to bring this up and try and bring it back from 24th of October to sometime in September. They would have to do a crap load of work because I don't think their argument right now is very strong. But that is good news. That is good news. The other bit of good news I wish we had is that they found her. But so far, no. This is very interesting. I heard this the other day. A lot of people were speculating that they used luminol, and they did. They used Blue Star. Blue Star is a different chemical, but I think it's basically the same stuff. It illuminates body fluids and blood, and it's basically the same crap. They said police found evidence inside the Manassas Park home that a body had been dragged out of the residence. Using Blue Star technology, investigators say they found large amounts of blood concentrated in the couple's primary bedroom and corresponding bathroom. Prosecutors said Monday that a presumptive test of the evidence determined it was blood inside of the home. The public defender representing Naresh argued that the amount of blood found in the home was misrepresented by the prosecutors, telling the judge that maybe a nosebleed. Come on, a nosebleed. So someone was a hemophiliac and had a nosebleed and lost 50% of their bodily blood. Sure. I can't buy that. The defense argued that the prosecutors are missing the primary evidence in this case, a body. Yes, that's why you got charged with concealing a body, because they can't find her. He played a video clip from the Commonwealth's attorney, Ashley Amy Ashworth, telling reporters that she did not know if Mamta was dead or alive following her husband's arrest. Yeah, she doesn't have to tell the truth to anyone outside of her legal team and a court. So you can't take what she says publicly and try and use that as a arguing point to get out of jail. During the Monday bond hearing, prosecutors also revealed that the U.S. Secret Service has offered up evidence in the case against Naresh. In April, prosecutors say that he used his work computer to Google how long does it take to get married when a spouse dies and what happens to debt, when a spouse is dead. That moment today, they got him for murder one. What? Julia said outside the courtroom she is among the women who have helped in the search for the 28-year-old nurse. They didn't charge him with murder one, did they? Did he get charged with murder one? I don't think so. Maybe she's just saying, like, they can probably get him for it. They said he has ties. Bhatt has ties to the U.S. Secret Service and has a security clearance, according to his defense. Mamta went missing in late July. She was last seen at her workplace on July 27th, and then she spoke to a friend on July 28th, according to police. And as we found out last week, past the 28th, when she spoke to a friend, were unable to have any timeline at all because everything that Naresh says is not true. They were already able to poke holes in his timeline. So we can't take anything he says as a fact or the truth. So there you go. There's your update. That's a good update. I'm very happy about that. Happy he won't be seeing the light of day for at least a little while. And yeah, so that information that got brought up today definitely plays into what I heard last week, that he had been searching for another woman to marry and that he was looking for another arranged marriage out of Nepal. I don't know how that works in their culture. Can you separate or divorce and then have another arranged marriage? Is that possible? I don't know. I'm not part of their culture, so I'm not sure. Prosecutors allege that Naresh, who has been charged with concealment of a dead body, has faced accusations from friends that he abused his wife, and that when authorities searched his home in Northern Virginia, they found a crime scene suggesting that Mamta Bhatt had been killed. At the end of the hearing, a judge ruled that Naresh could be held without bail until his next court date. They said here the amount of blood in that master bedroom and bathroom is indicative of injuries that are not survivable. And that's coming from the prosecutor, Sarah Sami, told the court. Every indication in this case is that Mamta is no longer alive and the Commonwealth can pursue a homicide charge without a body. That's where that murder one came from. They're saying that they believe they can actually, well, a lot of states now have circumstantial cases where you don't need a body. There's been a whole bunch of them prosecuted over the last 15 years where women or other people have gone missing, and they've been able to build a strong enough circumstantial case where they don't need the body to prove that the person was murdered. So there you go. They're saying that I think that must be a rebuttal to the defense when the defense brought up that video saying they didn't know if she was alive or dead, and they tried to submit that as an argument saying that the prosecution has no idea. But the prosecution then fired back saying they don't need a body to file murder one. So that's true. They do not. They do not. Much of the legal jousting Monday between the defense and the prosecution hinged on how Naresh was being charged with concealing a dead body, the only charge against him as of now, while his wife remains unaccounted for. The defense argued the intense public outrage that has built since the young mother and Nepal native went missing in late July has rushed the case forward without proper evidence. No. I think if cops raided any of our homes, me, you, anyone else in the chat, and they were like, holy crap, there's a lot of blood in this house. I'm sure that we would be arrested too. They said this particular statute requires that there is a dead body. What they have, to be clear, is blood, and that's his defense attorney. Bart was arrested because there is a huge media frenzy. The chief of Manassas Park Police is under pressure to do something, and that's when the prosecutor fired back that the evidence against Naresh was considerable and suggested more charges were coming. She highlighted in particular the volume of blood and the internet search history, which she said was provided to local investigators by the U.S. Secret Service. Prosecutors had alleged previously that they had evidence Naresh might have been taking steps to flee, while investigators zeroed in on him as a suspect. Tests have yet to link the blood found at the couple's home to the missing woman, but the prosecution told the court Monday that preliminary tests have concluded that the blood is of human, origin. His defense attorney tried to say that he had no intention of running, even though he had recently sold his Tesla and had 2 potential buyers of the family home. Oh, sure, buddy. We all believe you. And the 1-year-old daughter is currently in the care of the county social service workers after his arrest. He tried to say that the sales were to provide money for his family. No. Let's see. His defense attorney said he only has U.S. citizenship. This is not something he's going to be able to run from. You talk to all the other people who have jumped a border to get away from a murder charge. They've gone to Mexico, Canada, other European countries, other, Russia, the Ukraine, other places. So his defense arguments are pretty poor. Any graduate would be able to push a lot of this off in a court case. Yeah, the US, they'd be able to just go to a different state, go to Florida. Nanalana says, why in the hell didn't he let her leave and get a friggin' divorce? Evidence we've seen so far suggests that they were already in the process of separating, so I don't know. But they should have just continued with that. Rachel says, not buying of any of that. He was ready to run. I think he just knew there were lots of eyes on him. Yep. I think he knew the heat was turning up and he had to hurry up. All right. Let's see. All right. That's that update. I'm happy to bring that to you. That is a bit of weight off people's minds that he won't be getting out. So apparently, just hours ago, there was 2 people found dead at Rice University. And apparently it's a male and a female found in a dorm. Only the female is a student at Rice University, according to what I know. And it's sounding like there was no forced entry either. So this is not sounding very good. Let me bring you a video. Hopefully it doesn't echo.
Well, police are investigating a potential murder suicide at Rice University. A man and woman were found dead in her dorm room. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle reports from the campus tonight. He did speak with police and a Rice spokesperson. Sherman.
Yeah, good evening, Rashi. So a tragic story here at Rice. We're told a young woman named Andrea Rodriguez Avila, a student here at the university from Maryland, was found along with a man who is not a student, dead inside of her dorm at Jones College. HPD says they got the call around 4 p.m. Well, actually, the university police say they got a call around 4 p.m. to perform a welfare check on the woman who didn't show up for class, and people couldn't get a hold of her. That's when Avila was found with a gunshot wound, dead in her dorm. The man was also found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They were both pronounced dead. The police believe that they were both in a relationship. Police say that there were no signs of forced entry. We also heard from the school's president, Reginald DeRoche.
As a parent of a past Rice student, I can only imagine how devastating this must be. We are communicating with Andrea's parents and are flying them out early tomorrow morning. We ask the community to keep us in your prayers as we comfort each other this evening.
Tragic time. We also have been told that there was a note that was found inside the dorm. It mentioned that the two were in a troubled relationship. We also saw a memo that went out to the campus about counseling and help that is provided for students and faculty and people affiliated with the university in light of this tragedy. Classes were also canceled for the rest of the day, and according to the registrar's website, today was the first day of the fall 2024 semester. Reporting from Rice University, Sherman DeSell, Fox 26 News.
Yeah, pretty
Speech
horrible.
that no president ever wants to make.
All right, no
As president
president.
of Rice University,
I don't know which one we're
heartbroken
talking
to
about
share
now.
the loss of one of our students, Andrea Rodriguez Avila.
Right, it's here.
Rice University Police responded to a welfare check this afternoon at around 4:30 p.m.
We can watch that in a minute. I'll tell you about it. But from what I understand, yeah, here you go. Authorities responded to a welfare check around 4 p.m. The campus was put into a lockdown, or not a lockdown, but a stay in place while they were investigating. The female victim's name is Andrea Rodriguez Avila. That I don't know if that's a really common last name, but I'm sure it probably is. Rodriguez and then the last name. That's so similar to another victim that we had within the same area about 3 weeks ago. Interesting. I don't think they're related, but interesting. They said school officials said Andrea and a junior at Jones College, and who is said to be from Maryland, was found dead in her room on campus. A man who was not a student was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators on scene determined that she was the victim of a homicide. School officials said in a message to the Rice community. Officials stated that a welfare check was made after a family member had not heard from her and wanted authorities to go and check on her. School officials said they checked for her classes to see if she attended, and it was determined that she had not gone to class or missed a class today. Okay. Authorities later made entry to her room, and that's where she was found. Rice University police said based on the evidence, the two were in a dating relationship. Officials said the shooter, who was possibly from Florida, was not a registered visitor and most likely gained access to the dorm from coming in with her, so she had let him in. A note that officials said was written by the shooter was also found. Officials said the overall summary of the note was that they were having a troubled dating relationship. Authorities added that anyone that is in a troubled relationship can go to the SAFE office located on campus. The identity of the shooter has not been released. Fox 26 learned that school officials have confirmed classes for Tuesday, August 27th, have been cancelled, and the investigation into the shooting is ongoing. But terrible, like this being the first week back for everyone. It's supposed to be like a fun start to the new year. All the students are a little stressed because it's the first couple of days back. Some people are in their first year and it's all new and exciting. And then to have it all, one, for the victim taken away completely and her life ended, but for the other students there to be on campus for the first few weeks and then have a tragic event such as this rob the excitement from them. That is really horrible. Diane says it's a very common last name. Yeah, there was another victim in around the same area that had same middle and last name. That was a victim of a crime only a couple of weeks ago. So I was following. There was a student reporter from the Thrasher, and she was covering it. And I'm gonna find it for you. Hold on. She had been covering it for the local paper all day. She did a great job. I'm going to try to get to her tweet so I can read you some inside information from her. If I can get back to her. Apparently, all the big media outlets are sort of hogging up the timeline. Where is it? Where is she? Here she is. That her? No, that's from ABC. Where is she? Yeah, her name is Ria. And Ria says, this was a couple of hours ago before we knew the name of the victim, but she says that Rice University Police Department is investigating a potential homicide on campus at Jones College, according to an alert sent out at 5:41 p.m. to the Rice community. Then she said a little later after that, a shelter-in-place order has now been lifted. Classes and activities still cancelled through the rest of the day. Then she had a final update, and it said the first victim, a female Rice student, was found shot at Jones this afternoon. A university spokesperson to the Thresher said the second victim was a male unaffiliated with Rice, found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Both pronounced dead at the scene. No sign of forced entry to the campus or the dorm. So there you go. Pretty horrible. Pretty horrible. I don't think anyone wants to see that. And I have a copy of that text message too that they sent out here. This is what people got nearby. Says RUPD investigating a homicide at Jones College. Students stay in rooms until further notice. Faculty and staff should shelter in place until further notice. And it says RUPD investigation ongoing. Shelter in place remains. Update all classes and activities cancelled for August 26, 2024. So there you go. There's your update out of Rice. Pretty sad. I mean, like I said, it's supposed to be a fun time for everyone, being the first week back on campus for returning students, for students who are their first year. They've only been on campus for a week or two. I'm not sure how early they're allowed to come and, set up their dorm or whatever. But this is supposed to be like their first semester. And now they're like, oh my God, a girl here was killed and it's not even October. It's pretty awful, right? I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I can bring you about it. Anything in the last hour? No, but I will play you the press conference here. We won't play all of it. We'll just play the start.
And found Andrea deceased in her room, along with an update everyone wants to make. As president of Rice University, I'm heartbroken to share the loss of one of our students, Andrea Rodriguez Avila. Rice University Police responded to a welfare check this afternoon at around 4:30 p.m. and found Andrea deceased in her room, along with an unidentified male with a self-inflicted gunshot wound who is not a member of the Rice community. Tonight, I want all of our students, our parents, and the entire Rice community to know that the Rice campus is safe and there is no immediate threat. And tonight, we will wrap our arms around our students. As a parent of a past Rice student, I can only imagine how devastating this must be. We are communicating with Andrea's parents and are flying them out early tomorrow morning. We ask the community to keep us in your prayers as we comfort each other this evening. At this point, I would like to turn to Rice University Police Chief Clemente Rodriguez to answer any questions.
Good evening. My name is Mamta Rodriguez, and I'm the chief of the Rice University Police Department. The welfare check came in a little after 4 p.m. Or a little before 4 p.m. This afternoon, and officers then proceeded to do a check on our student.
Do we know if there's a connection or relationship between the two people that were found tonight?
Yeah, based on the evidence, we can say that they were definitely acquaintances. They knew each other. we're still investigating to determine the extent of that relationship.
Do you know the age of the victim?
The student's age, I don't have that. I believe I'm not sure. She's a junior. She's a junior. I don't have her exact age.
We'll leave it there. I think they're just going to go over a lot of, I don't have those details. I don't have those details. I can't answer that right now. His last name is Rodriguez. Yeah. Okay. Since you guys want to talk about it, I was going to just mention it very briefly because it brings some information. Get off my screen. There we go. It says FBI offers a $50,000 reward in Sebastian Rogers case. Now, one thing I noticed, I looked at the poster earlier today. Where is it? Hold on, I'll find it. There's actually a poster, FBI, and it's interesting because it has a weird detail on it. That's okay. Where is it? WBU maybe? Here. Here's a poster that they released from the FBI. It says the FBI Memphis Field Office Nashville Resident Agency is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the location and the return of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, or to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance. They said, he went missing February 26, Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. And it says he has ties to Clarksville, Tennessee, which we know that's where his father lives. And I thought that was interesting because, how would he have got there? How would he have got anywhere close to his dad's location? When this kid apparently didn't know how to even get to the ice cream store down the road, and that he only knew how to get to places where he had it memorized from doing it a million. I mean, I know apparently he knew his way to his dad's place, but he doesn't drive a car, and he doesn't drive, a motorbike or even a bicycle. So I don't know how he would get to Clarksville. It says here, it was last seen on February 26, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, black and square frame glasses. Sebastian has a medical condition, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. And there you go, 50 grand. That is a good amount of money. Do you think it's going to lead to any positive information coming to the TBI or the FBI? Let me know. Yeah, there's so many things about this particular case that make me so mad, and it's why I don't talk about it very often, is because a lot of it doesn't make any sense, and without further information, it's very easy to get into the realm of drama YouTuber, because anything basically past this little sentence, where is it? Here. Anything past this this paragraph here, it's basically speculation, because no one knows. No one has told anything, no one has said anything, the police haven't, the family really hasn't. I mean, they've told us some random stuff about what happened before, and maybe a little bit during the night or whatever, but no one, not one single person, can give me a verified sighting of Sebastian outside of that home. Not on the street, not outside his place on the pavement, not at the corner, not with a guy with a weird hat in a car, and I swear to God it was Sebastian, and it was verified on CCTV. No, nothing like that. So to me, the case is extremely frustrating, and it's why I don't bring it up very often, and because I don't want to get into the whole let's micro-analyze every tiny thing that Seth has said. Let's micro-analyze everything that the Proudfoots have said. And it's very easy to get into stupid territory. very quickly. But $50,000 is a lot of money for someone that might be life-changing, and they might know who might have done this, and they might be able to get some quick money. Maybe they need 50 grand. I don't know, but it's very interesting that now the FBI has sort of taken a more of a public, forward-facing, lead to it. So I will be very happy if someone calls in and tries to give us a bit more information about it. I would like to see it come to a conclusion, and for everyone to find out what happened to him. I mean, you have to think. He went missing in February. What have you done since February? Like, since February 26th this year, what have you done? Think of all the things you've done, all the places you've gone, all the dinners you've eaten, all the sandwiches you've had, all the, all the beers you might have had, a glass of wine, all the TV shows you've watched. That's just how long no one has said where this kid is. And this is a kid that thrives on routine, thrives on, going to his school every day and then coming home and getting to play Roblox or whatever he liked to do. And it's been that long. How many meals you've had? 300 meals or whatever. He hasn't been seen since. No one. No one's like, oh, I kind of saw that kid down the road. No one has said that. Not one person. Not one verifiable sighting has come in from Sebastian. So I will keep reporting when there is stuff to report on him. But right now, this is it. There's a new reward. That is good news. And the FBI Memphis field office of the Nashville Resident Agency has decided to do another push for information and see if someone can come through to give them the lead they need to start unwinding all of this. But I think once we get to the end of it, we'll all be very shocked by what we hear. I think we won't be surprised, but I think we'll be shocked at what we hear. I think a lot of us have a feeling of what happened to this poor kid. Yeah, me too. I think now that the FBI is involved, they've been involved for a while, right? Like through the TBI, they also called in some help through the FBI, right? Earlier. So, but it is nice to see them taking a lead on it. And they have vast more resources to try and crack this. So I have faith in the Nashville, Memphis FBI. And I hope they figure it out. I really do. Because anything less than bringing Sebastian home is a failure, as far as I'm concerned. Got to be able to bring him home. Got to be able to just bring him back to the people that love him. Who are the people that love him? Well, you can decide that. But whoever that is, hopefully they can bring him home to those people. Because I don't know. Danny says if you can get Bobby Charcon to talk to you and find out his thoughts on my reward now. Bobby, I can have a look. It's sundaywithping@gmail.com. Bobby Sharon or Chacon. A professional boxer who died in 2016. No? Okay. He's FBI or ex-FBI. What is it? He only has an Instagram? Oh no, he has a Facebook. Oh, not a Facebook, a Twitter. Let's see. Did he post anything today? I can reach out to him and see if he'll give me a statement on Sebastian and see why now. I could ask him the question and see if he'll tell me what he thinks about asking for a reward now. What is it? Chacon? Okay, thanks for that. JDR says, I hope other students with abusive relationships will reach out for help. I think the Rice University thing, if at a minimum, it could be not a teaching moment, but it might bring to the forefront that if you are struggling, now is a time to ask for the resources on campus so that you don't end up in a very tragic situation like that young lady. And the sooner you do it, the better. So if there are any men or women or whoever on a campus somewhere in America who need help, it's never too late to reach out for help, and the resources are there to help you. I think almost every campus in America has that sort of safe program that you can, like, it's like Respect. I think some of them are called Respect, some of them are called Safe. And you can go there and get help with relationship problems or abuse issues, that type of thing. Tony Mitchell says, I think breaking up over text is acceptable nowadays. Maybe. I don't know. I've never broken up with someone over text. I don't know if it's acceptable because I've never tried it. All right. Let me just see if there's an update here. It is interesting that in the FBI poster that they released, the reward is only for the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It tells you that the FBI don't believe that he just walked out of his home and disappeared. That's what it tells me. Because otherwise they'd be like, for anyone that could locate him and bring him home, it is or the arrest and conviction of those responsible, or the location of Sebastian. But it sounds like it's more about who might have done something to him, which I think we all gather by now. Teenagers don't, like, especially someone like Sebastian, don't just disappear. Let me see. What's the actual wording? $50,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers. Right. Yeah, here. Is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the location and return of Sebastian Rogers, or to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance. I think they know a little more. Yeah. I mean, either way, let's play the hypothetical game for just one minute. If someone did do something to him and that's why he's missing, to claim the reward, you would still have to tell them where they are. So even if you tried to argue, well, it says in there that they want the return and location of Sebastian. Yeah, of course they do. But they also want the people who did it to him. They're sort of like a catch-22. So there you go. No, the FBI doesn't look for runaways. That's right. Says they don't think he's dead. I think he is. I think he is. I don't think someone is holding him hostage for half a year, unless it was pre-arranged by someone like a family member. That's the only thing I could think of is that, yeah, but I can't think of that. I can't think of a scenario where that would work. I don't see anything on the poster that says they think he's alive. They just said missing person, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, missing from Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. He was last seen on February 26th. that may impair his ability to return, but they've been saying that since he went missing. Yeah, I don't see anything in this one that says he's alive, that they think he's alive, but Wendy says he's probably not far away. That would be my guess, but the thing that I am a bit cautious with thinking about that search effort they did is one of the most impressive search efforts I've ever seen for a local county or whatever. Really, really impressive. The amount of data and tracking and different aircraft and horses and motorbikes and cars and, drones and helicopters and like it was super impressive. I saw some of the maps in detail and it almost felt like they checked square inch by square inch of like a giant area looking for Sebastian. And I feel like if he was there, unless he's on private property somewhere where they were unable to gain access, I feel like if he was out there, they would have found him. They would have located him if he was within how big was that search area? Like 5 mile area or whatever it was? Yeah, I don't think I have that photo anymore. Let's see if it's on my list. No, I don't think I have it anymore. I used to have a photo of it with all the search areas for Sebastian, but I don't think. Yeah, that's a shame. If I find it again, I'll show you on a different show, but I don't have it anymore. Ah, we just froze up. There we go. I think we're back. Yeah, I don't have it, unfortunately, that search thing, but it was very impressive. One of the best searches I've seen. Let's see if it's here. Media. No, I don't see anyone with it. I thought maybe someone else might have posted it. Oh, here. Steve posted one, but it's not the one I'm thinking of, but that's okay. Steve, I'm going to borrow your photo. Thanks. This is one of the other ones that they did. Where is it? Here. Ah. StreamYard, you've been a pain tonight, my friend. Here. So here, I think this is one of the other ones, right? The different like area searches, like they broke it up into little sections. But this is not the one with the aircraft tracking. The aircraft tracking one was really cool. But that's a different one. You can see the different zones and areas that they tried to track, priorities and things like that. That's what I mean. I feel like if he was anywhere in this like big circle, they 85% would have found him. 90%. They worked so hard. That entire team, all the volunteers, they searched for days out there looking for Sebastian. I feel like if he was there, they would have found him. But I say that, and then we had that case out of New Zealand where that missing real estate lady, they searched that area for 2 months. 2 months looking for her. And it wasn't until they searched this tiny little bit that they sort of had overlooked and they actually dug into the ground. They found her. They found her. She was there all along. They had just been searching the wrong part of the field. So, I mean, mistakes do happen. But I just have a funny feeling they would have found him. But yeah, that was really weird. They'd searched this entire Greenland for it was like 8 weeks, over and over and over again, dug up different areas and did like ground penetrating radar. Couldn't find her. And then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, did anyone check that little bit behind the trees?" And everyone's like, "Oh, I don't think we did." And they went and checked it and they found her body. So Danny says Wade Wilson DP tomorrow. Double penetration? I don't know about that. Maybe he might get that lucky. Oh, you mean the other thing, a sentencing? Sure. Yes, that is tomorrow. Let's talk about that. Let's go to Fox 4. That's why I always laugh when people say DP in the chat. Her name was hold on. It's Yanfi Bayo, right? Yanfi Bayo. That was her name. I'm probably saying it with a very English, westernized thing, but there's her name there. All right, no more DP talk. Let's go to the video.
Wade Wilson's fate will come down to a judge on Tuesday. Will the convicted Cape Coral double murderer go to prison for life or be sentenced to death? I'm Fox 4 senior reporter Caitlin Knapp, and I've been covering this case since it started, from the trial to the penalty phase and beyond that. Now, I'm going to show you how we got to this point and what you can expect during the sentencing.
Are both the state and defense ready for trial this morning?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Those words marked the start of what would be a relatively quick trial for Wade Wilson. He was accused of killing Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz.
Both of them died on the 7th of October of 2019. Both of them had been strangled, and both of them, before they were forever silenced.
State attorneys brought up police officers, friends and family of Christine and Diane, but also Wilson's dad, who gave powerful testimony.
He just told me, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer.
2 days in, both the state and defense rested their cases, with the defense not bringing up any witnesses. During closing arguments, the defense tried to convince the jury the killings were not planned, which would have taken the death penalty off the table.
I'm not arguing insanity. I'm not arguing. I'm just arguing that the state's claiming premeditation, and I'm saying he's whacked out. He's just out of his mind.
Wilson was found guilty on all charges, including first-degree murder. With the death penalty officially on the table, the state argued his crimes were heinous, atrocious, and cruel.
He inflicted pain, and he showed utter indifference to her life.
But the defense said Wilson is, quote, sick and has a, quote, diseased mind. They brought in doctors to back up the claim.
There's enough data to support that his brain is not functioning like a normal, healthy individual.
However, the state had its own doctors who contradicted that. Ultimately, the jury recommended Wilson be sentenced to death. Now, the time for the final decision is on Tuesday, where the judge will hear from both sides, and they will show more evidence ahead of the sentence. The defense recently got approval for a CT scan of Wilson's brain based on a previous evaluation by a doctor,
Possibly indicating traumatic brain injury.
It's not clear what the state will present during what's called a Spencer hearing. But what we do know is after the hearing, the judge is expected to sentence Wilson. Community correspondent Shari Armstrong and I will be inside the courtroom telling you the judge's decision. We will also stream it live and bring you live updates as it happens.
I mean, I think when you look at the evidence, and I've been following this a little bit on and off, I think when you look at what he did to those 2 women, how can you go with anything but DP? I think this whole wrangling over his brain state, it doesn't excuse your actions unless you can prove it that you fit under the legal requirement for like an insanity plea. I don't understand how you can try and walk back it after the jury decided that should be your punishment. I think he's probably going to get it. I don't think they can provide enough to prove that at the time of the offense, his brain state, or whatever they want to call it, was compromised enough for him not to know right from wrong and reality. And I think he's probably going to get the full force of his punishment tomorrow. I think anything less than that is actually sort of an insult to the victims' families. It really is. This was a long trial going since July. It's been a long road for these 2 families. It really has. And yeah, I think that in the end, the judge will say it's a fit punishment, and to go with what the jury thought they heard from the evidence, and that's what they suggested. So. His lawyer looks like the Muppet Show, like the guys that sit up in the balcony and like throw popcorn and that. A little bit, a little bit. Yeah, I think when we start excusing people for the crimes they commit, it's a really slippery slope of where does that line end? If we do it for this guy, do we do it for the next guy that kills a few women? Do we do it for like what if the next guy only kills 3 women? Do we do it for him? It's only one more than this one, and he was a bit messed up too. Do we do it for him? Like, it's hard. Like, where does that line get drawn? Why don't we just go with what the the way our laws and our courts work is that it's up to the jury. So let's just go with what they say. If he wants to appeal and thinks he has a right to an appeal, and somehow can appeal that judgment or the jury, let him do that. Don't try and let him get off easy. Give him the sentence and see if he can fight it. Because as far as I've seen, he's guilty. He's guilty of everything. Like, I don't think there's any debate about that. Yeah, he's a really nasty human being. Here's a bit more about him. They're saying that Wade Wilson's fate will come down to Judge Nick Thompson on Tuesday. Will the convicted Cape Coral double murderer go to prison for life or be sentenced to death? The trial started on June 1st, 2024, with a jury being selected, with the question, are both the state and defense ready for trial? And then opening statements begun. They said both of the women died on October 7th, 2019. Both of them had been strangled, and both of them had been silenced forever. One of them was called Christine Melton. She was found dead in her home on Tudor Drive, October 7th, 2019, while Diane Ruiz was found dead in brush 3 days later after going missing. State attorneys brought police officers, forensic experts, friends, and family to the stand, but they also called up Wilson's dad, who gave a powerful testimony. He said, "He just told me he did something," and that's his biological father, Stephen. "There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer." 2 days in, both the state and defense rested their cases, with the defense not calling a single witness. During closing arguments, the defense tried to convince the jury the killings were not planned, which could have taken the death penalty off the table. They said, "I'm not arguing insanity. I'm just arguing the state's claimed premeditation." He's whacked out. He's whacked out of his mind for any of this. Wilson was found guilty on all charges, including first-degree murder. With the death penalty officially on the table, state attorneys argued Wilson's crimes were heinous, atrocious, and cruel. He inflicted pain and showed utter indifference to her life. However, the defense said Wilson is sick and has a diseased mind. They brought in a doctor to back up that claim. Well, I don't believe it. They said there's enough data to prove that his brain is not functioning like a normal, healthy individual. I think it takes a lot for any person, diseased brain or not, to go and strangle 2 women on the same day. I think, even after the first one, you'd have to know what your actions are doing. And he's old enough in life with enough experience to know that your actions have consequences. They just do. Everyone knows that. Even 5-year-old children know. If you do something bad, you will get a punishment. And he well and truly knows that. I know. He told everyone that would listen that he did it. His dad knows he shouldn't be on the streets and was protecting others. It's like that one we read the other day where the doctor, his wife, dobbed him in because she knew it was wrong. He tried to kill Mila and it was too many witnesses. Yeah. So I believe tomorrow will be quite swift. If he gets anything but the DP, I think it would be a miscarriage of justice. It really would. And I think the families would have every right to be extremely angry. And I don't know, something tells me I don't think we're going to see that. I think there's enough evidence there to show that he knew what he did was wrong. The fact he could comment to his biological father, that shows he knew what he did was wrong. He told his father that 2 people would not be back and that he was a killer. That shows he knew what he was doing. I think that's a really strong piece of evidence for not allowing him to walk back his punishment. I definitely think he could if he was out in the free world, he would definitely take another victim. 150%. All right. Yeah, we will probably stream it tomorrow. When it comes on. If I'm awake and they go early, I'll come on. We can do the announcement for it from court. We can do that. Because I want to see. What time are they supposed to be coming back in? Let's see. What time tomorrow? It doesn't save, so I'm guessing 9 a.m. because that's when court opens. Probably 9 a.m. I'm guessing. 9 a.m. in Florida. What time is that? It's midnight in Florida now, so -3 hours. It would be 11. So 11 p.m. tonight. Yeah, I can come on at 11. I can come on at 11. And we can look for the announcement. Yeah, we could do that. All right. I'll set up a live stream. You all meet me here at 11. I mean, 9 a.m. 11 for me. All right. I want to show you something. Last night I was researching something completely not related to true crime, right? I was searching for it was the eruption. What's that eruption called? Mount St. Helens. So you remember the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens? That giant volcano that the footage from that, I don't think I'd ever watched it before, but wow, it is super impressive how explosive that eruption was. And I had no idea it was in America. I thought it was, I don't know why, I thought it was in Europe. But it was this giant volcano that just blew its top one day, triggered by an earthquake, a 5.0 earthquake, very shallow, triggered the eruption. But I found out an interesting tidbit while researching the volcano. When they were sort of looking for bodies in the volcano, like the aftermath, they came across 2 bodies that ended up being part of a serial killer. And that's why I put the question in the description. Could a volcano be a serial killer? Because at first, they thought it was people that just died during the eruption. Because a bunch of people did. People that worked for like USGS, and there was like park rangers that were, they monitored the volcano and things like that. There's a few of them and a few very famous photos of them just before the eruption. So they thought, okay, maybe they're tourists or something like that. But they ended up being part of a serial killer, and a pretty famous one. Here's one of the guys that died. This is the famous photo that everyone knows. This is just before the eruption. That is David A. Johnson. And 13 hours before the eruption, that photo was taken. And they believe that he was so close to the edge of the crater, they just believe he got wiped out. I don't think I'm not sure if they ever found his body or not. I know there's people that were in the eruption. They were never found. They never located them. But let me talk to you. And look at this. This is one of the coolest photos I think I've ever seen. It looks like a giant, that's the eruption ash column. That literally looks like one of the scariest severe thunderstorms I think I've ever seen in my life, right? Doesn't it look like a giant tornado on the ground and one of the most crazy thunderstorms you've ever seen in your life? It's like a 10-mile wide wedge tornado, but it's actually a volcano, not a thunderstorm. Although I heard from witness accounts from this day, people that live nearby reported tornadic strength winds, lightning, and thunder from the particles in the atmosphere rubbing together and causing its own weather system. So it's very cool. But let me tell you about these girls that were found. Let me find it. Because I had never heard of anything like this before in weather. Here. A year and a half after the eruption, the bodies of two young women, Marsha Ann Wheater and Catherine Jean Allen, 18 and 20 years old respectively, were discovered. They were believed to have been murdered 6 weeks before the eruption, rather than being killed by the volcano itself. Backpacks belonging to them had been found in July 1980, but a layer of ash deposited by the eruption may have hid the bodies and prevented animals from disturbing the remains. An autopsy showed they had been shot once each. Now, I'm going to show you a bit more about the killer. So, the volcano actually hid their bodies for a period of time from the ash. Now, where is it? All right, come here. Yeah, the bodies of Marsha and Catherine, each with one gunshot wound, were found by pheasant hunters last week. This is a very old article. The authorities are trying to assemble clues on the killing of the women who were hitchhikers. Ash being over the bodies no doubt helped cover them up, said Larry Boyd, Chief Criminal Deputy Sheriff in Grant County. Maybe 3 inches fell along there. It's kind of ironic the volcano covered up a terrible incident. The layers of ash, he said, prevented animals from disturbing the remains. The women, who were from Fairbanks, Alaska, were clothed and lay side by side in a field of grass and sagebrush, 150 yards north of Interstate 90 and 10 miles west of Moses Lake. Site of their killing is uncertain. Some of the ash had been washed away by rain. The authorities could not tell whether the woman had been shot in the field or killed elsewhere. Chief Deputy Ken Kernan said the autopsy showed each body had been shot only once, but he declined to say where the bullets had struck the bodies. He said tests were being made to determine whether the women had been essayed. There was no ash beneath the bodies. Officials believe the women were killed about 6 weeks before the May 18, 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, which spread a layer of ash several inches deep in many places of eastern Washington and northern Idaho. Backpacks believed to have belonged to the women had been found near Yakima, Washington in July 1980, but they were the only clues to the disappearance until the discovery of the bodies. Then a search for evidence began. The Grant County authorities this week formed a 5-member team to investigate the killings. They said it was a callous, cold-blooded, and senseless act. We're compiling a nationwide teletype to all police agencies and circulating a flyer with the girls' photos on it. The mother of one of the women said until the bodies were found, she hoped they were being held captive and might be set free. She said, "I never gave up hope." Mrs. Wetter said, the young women were hitchhiking around the lower 48 and were on the final leg of a trip from Missoula, Montana to Seattle when they disappeared. She said that a private detective hired by the families tracked the women to a cafe in Ritzville, west of Spokane. Workers at the cafe said the women had tried all night to line up a ride with truckers to the west coast. The trail ran out at Ritzville. The two women had planned to fly home from Seattle to Fairbanks only a few days after leaving Montana. They had their tickets and everything, she said. They were tired of traveling and just wanted to come home. Instead, they were found under a bunch of ash in a field after a volcanic eruption. And I wonder if I thought they had tied this to a serial killer, but hold on. Yeah, Randy Woodfield. Maybe I am correct. Randall Woodfield. They're saying he was a convicted serial killer, serial R-wordist, kidnapper, robber, burglar, and a former football player who was dubbed the I-5 killer or the I-5 bandit from the media. Yeah, I just want to confirm that his victims were those two girls. Later murders here. Let's see, post-conviction. Other possible victims here. So they believe here, after tracing his movements along Interstate 5, law enforcement have identified at least 25 other potential murders that he may have committed, while others estimate he may have killed up to 44 women. Notable is Martha Morrison, 17, who disappeared in Eugene in September 1974 and was found murdered the following month near Vancouver. Her remains were unidentified until 2015. Both Woodfield and Ted Bundy have been considered suspects in her murder. However, after Morrison's remains were identified, law enforcement reached out to the public in an effort to encourage people to come forward with tips. In August 2017, a blood stain on a pistol owned by a longtime suspect, Warren Forrest, was matched to Morrison through DNA testing. So that was a different murder that he was matched to, or a different serial killer was matched to. But here, during the spring of 1980, Marsha and Kathy vanished while hitchhiking from Spokane, Washington to their hometown of Fairbanks, Alaska. Their bodies were found in May 1981. Suspected serial killer Martin Lee Sanders was later connected to their murders, but as of 2018, the case remains unsolved. So those two ladies that they found after the volcano erupted, they still are not 100% sure who killed them. Isn't that crazy? 1981 they were found, and it's now 2024. They don't know. They still don't know. That's crazy to me. Yes, it is. Imagine if they had any more ash on them. It may have been decades or more, maybe more rain. They needed like a big rain or big snow to wash it away. What is it? Did I pronounce something wrong? That's okay. I'm not from the area. You'll have to forgive me and my Spanish accent. What word was it? Let me see. What town name was it? I can't find it now. But good night, Emma. Ah, I saw it before and now it's gone. Oh, here. Yakima? What town is that? Where in my story? I gotta find it now. Was it on the other page? Fairbanks, Sagebrush, Moses Lake, Spokane, Northern Idaho. I can't find the town you're talking about. It must be somewhere in my story. Mount St. Helen. I'm not sure. That's okay. There you go. Nanalana was able to tell us the correct pronunciation of it. There you go. It's on the screen. Wendy says, it's a sad story. Lucky they were found. Oh, backpack found in Yakima. Okay. There you go. Thanks. Yeah, so I can't believe it that this might be a good project for like if they have any evidence. Oh, you would think maybe the ash might have screwed it up though. Like being covered in a 4 inches of ash can't be good for DNA evidence or something like that. Can't be helpful. But yeah, I wonder if I can find a photo of these two girls. Hold on. Marsha Wheater and Catherine Jean Allen. They were very young, 18 and 19, hitchhiking around America. No, there's no photos of them. Let's see. The Daily Iowan. Let's see if they have a photo of them. Why did it bring me to this paper? No, I don't see, like, you would think there might be an FBI photo or something like that about them since they're an unsolved, you know, an unsolved case, but yeah, I don't see any photos of them. How sad. Yeah, okay. If I ever find one, I will show it to you, but I can't find one at all. Yakima is in Washington. Okay. Like Pompeii, it is a little bit like Pompeii, a little bit. It's a shame that there's no story about them though, like no photos of them. Because like, what if you saw them all those years ago, and you have the missing, clue to solving who was with them when they were hitchhiking? There's no wanted poster. There's no Piedmont University. No, not that. Okay. Yeah. If anyone can find a photo of those two girls, I'll put their name in the chat. If you ever come across a article or something from their I know one of their mothers talked to the media. Marsha Ann Weeder or Wedder and Catherine Jean Allen. Catherine was 19. Marsha was 18. Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. I don't know. I don't even know who that is. Gary Puckett? Well, what decade is that from? Rachel says, I remember hearing about this, but I can't remember where. From here. You heard it 5 minutes ago. I told you about it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, very sad. So yeah, when I was researching about this volcano, I was halfway through reading about like ash cloud and people who died in the eruption and stuff. And then it said they found two murder victims. And I was like, wait, what? What do you mean murder victims? And yeah, they found those two girls in the aftermath. It was a while after. They said a year and a half, 18 months after the eruption. But yeah, pretty. Actually, this is pretty cool. Before we disappear off this topic, I'll show you something for people who've never seen this. If I can get to... All right. So apparently that's what it looked like before it happened. That's the entire mountain or volcano. And I'll show you what it looked like after. If it'll load. Come on. Come on, silly thing. Here we go. And that's what it looked like after. So there you go. You can see like a huge chunk out of the middle is gone. Just no longer a mountain. It's been carved out from the explosion. So Marilyn said late 60s, early 70s for Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. It sounds like a work group. Like they sing songs about joining a union and how hard it is working on the railroad or something. Oh, Rachel says my aunt-in-law has the picture before it blew from her father who lived there. I heard people that lived not on the boundary of the national park or whatever, and they said that when they heard the explosion, they rang relatives in another state and said, the mountain has exploded. If you never hear from us again, it's because we died. It is bad. It is very, very bad. And then the line went dead because the outward moving, pressure wave and explosion destroyed the phone lines. So they got to speak a couple of sentences and it went dead. And the relatives in another state thought that they died in the explosion or the eruption, and for weeks had no idea that their relatives had actually survived. And the guy inside that particular house described it. He said it literally went from daylight to nighttime in like 1 second, and the noise from everything hitting all the buildings and everything like getting ash and fire and things becoming alight. They said it was like hell on earth. They just said it was indescribable almost. So there you go. There are some accounts from people who witnessed it or lived through it that you can look up. Yeah. Lindy says, Ping, have you seen the long video of the guy who hiked out from the day of Mount St. Helen? I have not. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Let me see if I can find anything. Is it Davy Crockett? Davy Crockett? Let's see if it's the right one. There is a video. Davy Crockett. You can see him. Yeah, I see the video here. I'll show you a little bit of it. I don't know if it's copyrighted.
I'm walking towards the only light I can see on top of a ridge. I can hear the mountain behind me rumbling. It's an enormous mud and water slide came down and washed out the road. I never really thought I'd believe this or say this, but at this moment, I honest to God believe I'm dead. There's really no way to describe those feelings. I feel the ash now in my eyes. It's getting very hard to breathe. Burns to breathe. I'm having trouble talking. Burns to breathe. Burns my eyes. Oh dear God. My God, this is hell. I just can't describe it. It's pitch black. Just pitch black. This is hell on earth I'm walking through. I got the wrong attitude here, man. This would be something to tell my grandchildren about. Oh, man.
The breeze started blowing the ash out, and all of a sudden I realized I could breathe a little better, and I could see a little bit of greenness. It wasn't pitch black. I could see maybe a couple feet. At that point, I took a photograph of myself with a wide-angle lens, held the camera out in front of me, and click, and I had a big smile on my face. I was just covered with ash, just my hair was sticking straight out. But I think you can tell from the expression on my face, I thought then maybe I was going to get out.
When I finally realized I had made it and I was going to live, I just started laughing and screaming out loud. And it's just.
I can't imagine what his, reaction to. You can see him there when he made it out. He's lucky he didn't if you've ever watched the Waikiri, White Island documentary, the one in New Zealand that exploded only a couple of years ago, and I had a whole bunch of tourists on the island at the time. You should watch the Netflix documentary about it. He's so lucky he didn't get steamed to death. A lot of the people on Waikiri got imagine getting put into a giant pot of water or a giant steamer, and they had burns to 95% of their body. And apparently some of the people, when they got picked up to put in the aeroplanes or the boats, they were struggling to pick them up because their skin kept slipping off, and because they had been so severely burnt that they were struggling to carry them. And a lot of people, a few of them died. Some of them were never rescued. By the time they made it back, after it was safe to look for any people who died, a few of them got one man. They believe a thunderstorm that came through overnight swept his body off the island and into the water, and he was never recovered. So it's really, for the people that were at this one, they're very lucky to make it out. Hold on, what's the guy from Waikiri that didn't make it out? There was two victims had not been found and may have been swept out to sea. Police believe their bodies were initially near a stream and were swept down the stream during a significant weather event on the night of the eruption. But I believe that was a guy. His brothers were on the Netflix documentary talking about him. I just want to use his real name because that's respectful. Don't think they're going to tell me which fella it was. So it was a body of a local guide and an Australian tourist were never located from White Island. But I don't have their name, unfortunately. But yeah, if you want to watch something like that, watch the Netflix documentary on it. Really eye-opening. Very, very sad. And that court case actually just wrapped up, or it just finished, with the companies being fined and things like that. So Lindy says, my boyfriend and I drove up a logging road years later until we got to the section where all the trees are laid out flat. Yeah, there's still some photos. If you look around, there's still places on the mountain that have the trees snapped at the base, and it looks like little spikes everywhere all over the mountain. You can still see damage all these decades later from the eruption. So very eerie. You're right. All right. Hey, that was an interesting way to end the show, talking about a volcano and uncovering two people that unfortunately have never been, their case has never been solved 40 something years later, and they don't know who did it to them. They never made it home to Alaska. So very sad. All right. Hey, I'll come back in the morning at about 9 a.m. Eastern time, and we'll do the announcement for that particular case, Mr. Wade Wilson, for his decision on what his punishment or his verdict is going to end up being. And yeah, I'll see you then, okay? Hold on, let me check something before we go. All right. Hey, I love you all. I will see you then at about 9 a.m. Okay? Bye. See you later.